think my wife might be cheating on me with a 17-year-old she coaches, so I am considering calling the police. My wife, 33, has been acting really strange lately, and I'm starting to think she might be cheating on me with one of the kids she coaches. I feel sick even typing that. Some background: my wife is an accountant by day, and in the evenings, she volunteers as a soccer coach for a local youth team. She's always loved soccer, and I thought it was great that she was so involved with the kids and the community. But recently, she's been dropping weird comments that are starting to really concern me. It all started about 2 months ago. She casually mentioned one of the boys on her team. He's 17, and I won't say his name for obvious reasons. At first, it was harmless stuff, like he's really talented for his age or he's a natural leader on the field. I didn't think much of it because, well, she's a coach, and it's her job to encourage the kids, right? But then the comments started to get weird. Like one night, out of nowhere, she said, "You know, kid's name has really pretty eyes. They're so striking." I remember thinking, that's an odd thing to say about a kid you're coaching. I kind of brushed it off at first, but then more things followed. Another time, she came home after practice and said, "He's so much more athletic than anyone else on the team. It's impressive how developed he is." Again, I tried to shake it off, but my gut started nagging at me. Why is she talking about him so much? Then there's the fact that she's been getting way more secretive. She's always been open with her phone and emails, but lately, she's been turning her screen away from me when she texts or checks messages. I asked her about it, and she just laughed it off, saying I was being paranoid. She's also been staying later and later after practices. At first, she told me it was just because they were prepping for some tournament. But now, even with the tournament over, she's still coming home late. When I ask, she gives vague excuses like, "Oh, the team needed extra help," or "I had some paperwork to catch up on." Here's the thing that really has me spiraling. Last week, I came home early from work. I expected to have the house to myself since she was supposed to be at practice, but when I walked in, I found her sitting on the couch, texting someone with a huge smile on her face. When she saw me, she quickly locked her phone and got super flustered. She said it was just one of the parents asking about game schedules, but it didn't feel right. I don't have any solid proof, but something just feels off. Why would she be talking about this kid's looks? Why is she suddenly so secretive? I haven't been able to shake the feeling that something more is going on. I don't want to accuse her of something so serious without any real evidence, but I also don't want to ignore my instincts. I love her, and I really don't want to believe she'd do something like this, especially with a kid she's supposed to be mentoring. Updates: the last 5 days have been absolute hell. My own suspicions have been confirmed. After talking to my friend, the lawyer, we agreed that I should confront her with my concerns and suggested looking through her phone together just to put some of my suspicions to rest. I realize how risky this was, but we really didn't have a lot of choices considering there was no clear proof that anything weird had been going on. He suggested that we meet somewhere quiet, but still in a public setting in case she decided to freak out and do something irrational. I decided to take her to our local park where I sat her down on a park bench well away from any crowds of people. When we sat down together, I told her how serious of a situation we could be in, that she must be completely honest with me, and that want to be on her side, but the way she had been acting had led to some serious suspicions. I explained to her that I didn't want to break the trust between us, so had decided against looking through her phone, despite how tempted I was. When I told her the concerns, she immediately got defensive and started denying everything. She called me a paranoid asshole for even suggesting that she would be in a relationship with a minor. She said the fact that I would even question something like this means there's probably something wrong with me and that I must be the one hiding something. Honestly, the way she reacted just confirmed to me that there was something that she hadn't been telling me this entire time, and that without her cooperation, the safest bet was probably just to leave. I suggested that we look through her phone together just to provide me with closure, and even if there was nothing to hide, it would mean a lot to me that she would just humor me, and that it might even be fun to look through together and laugh at how ridiculous I was being. She screamed at me for trying to invade her privacy and that I had massively overstepped the line before storming away from me, back to the car, and driving to her friend's house to stay for the night. I don't know what she talked about with her friend, but at around 3 a.m. the next morning I got a really long text from her giving her view of the situation. The message was as follows: "I really don't think what I have been doing is wrong. It started with me just helping this kid with some extra practice because he was struggling to get the hang of some of the drills we had been working on in that day's training session. These private sessions were becoming more regular, and after about 3 weeks of extra training sessions he sent me a friend request to my Instagram. He wasn't the first one on the team to send me a request, and I wouldn't usually accept them, but as I was giving this kid private coaching sessions I thought it made more sense. He started to send me DMs, so I responded because I'm not a total asshole. Okay, maybe the texts aren't just about soccer anymore. There's nothing wrong with being friends with a kid. You've always been super close to your younger brother, and I've never called you out for being weird." The message then proceeded to say how much of an asshole I was for trying to call her out and trapping her in a situation that would always leave her looking bad. She ended the message by telling me that she thinks that she'll be able to look past this and forgive me for being a total insecure dickhead, and that if I ever questioned her like this again, she would be filing for a divorce. I was in complete shock when I read this response, as I have never seen this side of my wife. This is not the kind, loving, respectful, and open person whom I had married, and it is driving me totally insane. I just don't know what to do. I understand that what she was telling me is not normal, and I can't believe how naive I have been for so long, but I still feel like there's even more going on that she's not telling me. Her long message didn't actually explain why she had been messaging this kid so much and for so long, or why she had been spending literal hours every evening locked in our bedroom or on the sofa just on her phone. I don't know. Maybe I am just being paranoid? Maybe this is more normal than I'm making it out to be, although this seems unlikely. Should I still try to look through her phone anyway, despite what she's told me? When we had met the previous day, my friend mentioned that this was out of his field, but that I shouldn't contact the police until I was more sure of anything, because if we did end up getting a divorce, and she is technically innocent, calling the police on your wife for providing extra help to a kid she coaches wouldn't look very good for me in a courtroom.